Are we having fun yet? Cubans for Trump, baby. Make America Great Again, Part 5. Y'all, it's real wild what's happening with the Supreme Court and how they are removing protected status for over 500,000 Cubans and other immigrants. But it's always been wild, and even wilder during this presidency, to see those very immigrants proudly back Trump. But now realizing, baby, he's coming for you too. Let's talk about it. Because what they thought was they were going to play a game of eeny, meeny, miny, mo and pick and choose some immigrants. But I guess not them. Because, baby, they was cheering loud. And y'all, I've been thinking about this for a long time. How so many immigrants of color come to the United States and quickly align themselves with whiteness. Many looking down on Black Americans, buying into the same tired stereotype that we're lazy, criminals, a burden, dangerous. And baby, they can't wait to use the N-word. They're taught to see us as the problem, or worse, the enemy. But what they don't see, or what they refuse to see, is the real enemy is the systems you're cozying up to the white supremacist structures that they think will protect them. These are the same ones that view all of us as disposable when convenient. And here's the hard truth. The only reason that these immigrant protections even exist, the only reason they had the privilege to come here and build new lives, is because of Black civil rights advocacy. Period. It was Black Americans who fought, who were hosed down, bled, and died to dismantle unjust laws and push for equality, not just for ourselves, but for everyone that came after us. Every opportunity they've had, the right to work, the right to go to school, to stay in this country, rests on the backs of Black struggle and resistance. Yet too many of them forget. Too many ignore history, the very history that gave them access to the very systems that are now turning on them. It's a deep betrayal, not just of us, but of justice itself. And baby, while I feel for them, you were warned. These same immigrants, happy to align themselves with whiteness, vote for politicians who harm them and turn their backs on us. Us, the people whose struggle made it possible for their opportunities. Now when deportations are happening left and right, they're realizing whiteness don't love you either, baby. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray. I don't know how many times I need to say this. There is no protection in aligning yourself with whiteness. There's no protection in turning your back on the very Black folk who paved the way, who fought and bled for the rights you enjoy. Because when things get real, and baby, they're getting real, you'll find yourself alone. The same white supremacists that they cozied up to, they'll turn on you without hesitation. And here's what's even more heartbreaking. You thought you were protecting yourself by siding with them, by distancing yourself from us, by playing the respectability game. But baby, the game was rigged from the start. You were never meant to win, and you never were going to. And now, as you watch deportations, the removals, the betrayals, as you hide in fear, not knowing if you or your family is next, baby, you're seeing it in real time. The panic is setting in. The illusion, it's shattering. And the truth you tried to ignore is now knocking at your door. As Black Americans, we've always fought for justice, for everyone. We know how it feels to be treated unjustly. But let me be clear, we're done putting ourselves on the line for those who won't even stand with us. This time, you're going to have to figure it out for yourself. Happy Black History 365. And I'll see you next time.
Latino realize that they are not white enough to become Americans. That's why they're starting to beg Black people to stand with them. Why? My name is Lick. In today's video, we are going to talk about why many Latino, especially from Cuba, begging Black community to stand with them because of massive deportation. Remember that credit goes to the owner of the video. Let's get into it. I will come back with a comment.
Being from Miami, I don't know how to feel about Cubans being in their find out era, because they took over Miami, and it was to the point where you couldn't even find a job unless you spoke Spanish. And even if you spoke Spanish and you wasn't Cuban, you wasn't getting that job. And I give them a lot of credit, because before their family or friends would leave Cuba, they would already have a job, a car, and a place to stay by the time they reached Miami. Like, they really set up their people very, very well. They even had a wet foot, dry foot policy. Where they messed up at was thinking that they thought becoming a Republican was going to make them turn. And the whole time they're speaking Spanish. And a majority of them didn't even bother to learn English, but yet they thought they were. And my main question is, what is the difference between Fidel Castro and 45? Until then, azúcar.
Hey, I know this is gonna get a lot of hate and I might lose followers over it, but I don't give a damn. I'm gonna say what has to be said. I've seen a lot of people recently on my For You page, especially Latinos, saying, why is the black community not speaking up about what's going on around immigration? Why are black people not supporting the Latino community? This, and that. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that the Latino community deserves the support of the black community. And the reason why is because the black community didn't vote for this guy. The Latino community did. We, the Latino community, and I'm speaking about all of us, are the reason we are in this shithole that we are in. Because over 48% of Latinos voted for Donald Trump. It wasn't black people who put Donald Trump in the White House. It was Latinos who put him in the White House. So now that we're getting screwed over by this guy, I'm sorry, but we have to first take some personal accountability and look at our uncles and aunts and brothers and sisters and friends who are Latino and voted for this guy. And before we expect other communities to come and save us, we need to start educating our own community because we are now seeing the consequences of our own actions. And yes, I would love to have the support, of other communities and be all united in this front. But I also understand the frustration black people have because, like I said, they saw what was coming. They didn't vote for this. Look at the numbers. I'm not making it up. It was Latinos who put this guy in the White House. It wasn't black people. It was us. And so before we expect other communities to come and save us and do all the work, we need to first recognize that we fucked up. Not me, because I didn't vote for him, but many of us did. That's the sad reality. But anyway, hurts? Yeah, but it's the truth. Let me know what you think. And as always, it had to be said, and it was said.
It's 100% true because I never see black people putting Trump into that place. Latino are the one because they were expected to deport all black people back to Africa. He did it. But also what he's doing to Latino community, I think it's the same story. People now, they Latino now realize that are not white enough to stay in the USA. That's why they are complaining why black community are not standing with us because of but they forget that they are the one who voted against their interest. We still have another video of the guy who's from Latino community. Let's watch his video too.
Hi, my name is Leandro. You guys might know me by this video. And I just want to say something to the Latino population who keeps coming to TikTok and saying, calling out Americans, and specifically Black Americans, and being like, why aren't you guys standing up for us? We did it in Black Lives Movement. As an Afro-Latino, myself, we have to hold accountability for our actions. 60% of our people voted for that guy, voted for these deportations. Many of your family members voted for this guy, even though they knew you were maybe LGBTQ, maybe you were trans, maybe you had HIV, maybe you depended on scholarships because now he wants to get rid of the border education, went to public school, right, were undocumented, right? All of these reasons, knowing this guy is literally the representation of white supremacy. The KKK supported this guy. He released the Project 2025 a whole year before the election. And we sat down, we told you what was gonna happen, and you still chose this guy. Okay? Just because he has conservative beliefs, the ones that your grandma and your parents were taught in Latin America, how did that work out for us? How much family trauma do we have for these conservative beliefs in South America and Latin America? A lot, right? A lot. So anytime we speak about liberalism, you know, everybody should have access to healthcare. Everybody, you know, should not be able to be discriminated against based on the color of his skin or his race, even if they have the same qualifications as their white counterpart. Like, is that so wrong? Is that so wrong? I don't think so. But going back to the main topic of Latinos asking Black Americans to stand up for them and help them, and Black Americans are like, you chose that, you know, that is your battle. I approve that message. I approve it. I know I might get flagged for saying this, but it's true. As Latinos, we need to take accountability for our actions. And yes, not all of us voted for that guy, but we need to address the ones that did, call them out, and correct and revalue ourselves. Because just because you do not agree with, I don't know, reproductive rights or the LGBTQ community, which Kamala Harris did, right? Maybe because you don't agree with that, doesn't mean that this other guy does. Right? Doesn't mean that he's a better option for you, because remember, you're still a person of color. And I know a lot of you light-skinned Latinos or white Latinos who, you know, honestly, you're not white American passing. And even if you are and you have an accent like mine, as soon as you open that mouth, you're done. You're done. So I just want to let you guys know that we need to do something. And there's no one else to blame than us. Hope this helped.
As long as you speak, they found out your accent, you are from Latino, you're done. You are not American, you are not white enough to start, to success, to have a job in USA. So, and you're still supporting him. Why? It's your choice. You voted against your interest. Guys, I hope you liked today's video. Thank you. See you on another one. I love you guys. Bye. Ciao, ciao.